Are you tired of sitting down to work, opening your laptop, and then doing literally anything but working? Scrolling, cleaning, watching one more video, telling yourself, I'll start in 5 minutes. But you don't. You sit down to work, and suddenly everything else matters more. You reorganize your entire room instead of writing that one sentence. At some point, you stopped calling it procrastination and started assuming that's just who you are. Tim Urban, one of the most insightful writers on human behavior and the TEDx speaker of Inside the Mind of a Master Procrastinator, exposed this struggle better than anyone. He spent years unable to start important work. Deadlines would pass, stress would build, and nothing would happen until the last possible moment. He described his brain like this: a rational decision maker being controlled by something he called the instant gratification monkey.
So here's the brain of a non-procrastinator. Now, here's my brain.
The rational part says, let's work, this matters. The monkey says, let's watch one more video. And the monkey usually wins. But here's what most people missed about his idea. Procrastination isn't just about distraction. It's about avoidance. And not just of work, but of something much deeper. You're not procrastinating because you're lazy. You're procrastinating because you're avoiding the version of yourself this work requires. In this video, I'll show you the 5 hidden reasons you procrastinate and how to break out of it using the exact psychological patterns behind it. 1. Identity resistance. Most people think they're avoiding the task. They're not. They're avoiding what the task demands them to become. Starting that project means becoming someone disciplined. Posting that content means becoming visible. Taking that opportunity means becoming responsible. And your brain? It looks at that version of you and goes, yeah, that seems like a lot. Because your brain likes who you already are, even if that version is stuck. This is called identity resistance. Your brain protects your current self, even if it's limiting you. That's why you hesitate. Not because you can't do it, but because doing it changes you. Don't try to become a new person overnight. Shrink the identity gap. Instead of, I need to be consistent, say, I just need to show up today. Make it small enough that your brain doesn't panic and call the monkey for backup. 2. Fear of irreversible change. Here's something no one tells you. Success is uncomfortable. Because if you actually do the work, and it works, you don't get to go back. More expectations, more responsibility, more pressure. So your brain does something very clever. It delays. Because as long as you haven't tried, you're safe. You can still believe, I could do it, if I wanted to. And honestly, that belief feels pretty good. Reality? Not so much. Redefine success. Make it temporary. Make it experimental. You're not changing your life. You're just running a test. That removes pressure and makes starting easier. 3. Emotional avoidance. This is the real reason. You're not avoiding work. You're avoiding how the work makes you feel. Confused. Overwhelmed. Not good enough. Psychologists have found that procrastination is not a time problem. It's an emotional regulation problem. Your brain is trying to escape discomfort. So it chooses something easier, something familiar, something that feels good now. Scrolling, videos, distraction. Not because you're weak, because your brain is doing exactly what it's designed to do. Before you start, pause. Ask yourself, what am I actually feeling right now? Name it. Because once you name the emotion, it stops controlling you from the background. 4. The future self disconnect. Here's something strange. Your brain treats your future self like a stranger, which means when you delay work, you're not hurting yourself. You're passing the problem to some random person in the future. And your brain goes, that's their problem. That person is you. But since you don't feel connected to them, you don't act. Make your future self real. Visualize them. Write to them. Think of them as someone you actually care about. Because the more real they feel, the harder it is to ignore them. 5. The dopamine trap. Your brain runs on dopamine. But dopamine loves one thing: immediate rewards. Your work? Slow, effortful, uncertain. Your phone? Fast, easy, guaranteed. So your brain chooses the easier reward, every time. And over time, this rewires your behavior. You don't lose discipline. You just get really good at avoiding effort. Make work easier to start. Make distractions harder to access. Lower the barrier to entry. Increase the friction to escape. That's how you retrain your brain. Tim Urban didn't overcome procrastination by becoming more disciplined. He overcame it by understanding what was actually happening. That it wasn't laziness. It wasn't lack of intelligence.
It was a system. And once you understand the system, you stop blaming yourself and start changing your behavior. You're not procrastinating. You're standing at the edge of a version of yourself that feels unfamiliar and stepping back. The life you want doesn't require more motivation. It requires you to stop avoiding who you could become. Because on the other side of that resistance is not just progress, it's you. Sometimes it's not about fixing your habits, it's about deciding which version of yourself you're ready to become. The change is not far, it's not complicated, it's not impossible. It's just one system away, one shift, one dot. But here's something even more interesting. What if procrastination isn't always the enemy? What if the very thing you're trying to eliminate is also the reason some people think deeper, create better, and come up with original ideas? Because when you look closely, a lot of the world's most original thinkers were also master procrastinators, and in the next video, I'll show you why.